My garbage person of the week is, and I guess kind of had to be, Steven Crowder. Let's bring it up. He's obviously, I think, rightly being attacked for the video that has now been unleashed of him verbally and emotionally abusing his wife. Here is a shot of the video. So here's the thing. I'm not gonna play the video, although I don't begrudge other people for playing it. And obviously I'm glad that we got access to it because it gave us a much better idea of the nature of at least a few specific instances in that relationship, as well as what he was talking about days ago when he was talking about being extorted or whatever. He was obviously trying to get out in front of this or maybe other videos. That said, I don't want to play the video because I don't know, it just makes me feel sick personally. And like, I know that like some people will click away because we're not playing the video and they clicked on it to see the video, but I don't care. The entire thing makes me feel absolutely disgusted in a variety of ways that I think I can identify, and then others that I can't. I hate every bit of it. I just do. I don't want to show it. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about Steven Crowder as a general rule, and I think I almost never do. But obviously it's there, and obviously this is a particularly strong representation of the sort of male garbage that he has been for many years. So I don't know, Brett, take it away.
In ignoring this, you're ignoring the like pinnacle of reasons he sucks.
Explain them.
Ways to expose reasons that he sucks. Because the question is it all an act when he goes before everyone? The answer for this is not really. I understand that the thing that probably makes everybody feel creepy is that you're just a voyeur. You're kind of looking in on his private life, and there's something wrong about that. And so I totally understand, respect, and admire the fact that you're not gonna play it. I'm not above any of that. I think that it's a great opportunity to not play it, but also call out that this guy is 100% undeniably the type that would play this kind of video if it happened to anyone else. And
that's true.
What am I gonna do? What am I gonna make a joke that's too inappropriate? This is Steven Crowder. He earned every one of these. This is a guy who playfully reenacted Kyle Rittenhouse shooting people for funsies. That's it. And this is a guy who sits there and intentionally makes the least appropriate jokes possible. And this is a guy who's he's like, listen, my life is hard. My wife needs to do wifely duties. When she says that his behavior of not letting her leave the house, which is what he's doing. When she says that is abusive, he literally says, watch it. He says, watch it like she's two. Tells her to do her wifely duties when she is already carrying his child or his children, twins. She's literally barefoot and pregnant. And he's like, you're not doing your wifely duties. So what do you want?
Look, you are only 100% right. I will fact check one thing. I am not playing it because I'm above it. I'm at best to the side of it. It's a personal choice that I'm making. I'm beside myself actually. You could do an entire book breaking down this social interaction of the watch it, which says so much about what he thinks about his specific relationship, and obviously we know is reflective of what he thinks about the hierarchical relationship between men and women. But also clearly that is not the first time this is happening. Clearly he is attempting to ward her off from once again bringing up the word abusive. That's the way I read it. This is speculation or whatever. But it seems like she has brought up the abuse she feels she has suffered in the past, and that is why he is so proud to be like, watch it, we're not doing that again. That's my speculation, but anyway, and then of course, look, hold on, because we have to make clear that people understand that what happened right after the video, apparently, according to him, again, I don't want to get into the details, but he follows her into the house and says, I will F you up, but the full word, she's 8 months pregnant. And he's threatening to F her up. If that was the only thing and everything else in that video was awesome, I think people would be right to think that this person is garbage based purely on that fact. But this is just the rotten cherry on top of a I can't swear sundae.
The dude has a beautiful pool. He's smoking a cigar on the lanai or his covered patio, and
right near his 8-month pregnant wife.
Right near his 8-month pregnant wife, and he's complaining that he has it hard, and he wants her to give medication to the dog, which she allegedly doesn't want to do because she says it's toxic to pregnant women. And he's like, put on some gloves and feed medicine to my dog. I understand, and I get it. I'll say, listen, there's a lot of people that have arguments at home, and this doesn't have any violence in it. Good.
There's been no allegations of physical abuse or anything like that.
And going back to your point about her saying abuse again, I think my conjecture, my speculation is that he doesn't know that you don't need to give a reason for getting divorced in Texas yet. He will later on his shows when she wants to file for divorce, bemoan the fact that you can have freedom in Texas to divorce if you want. And the pro-freedom Republicans, who I would argue are anti-freedom in every single respect, he is angry that she is allowed to stop being married if she doesn't want to be married anymore.
Yeah.
He wants there to be some kind of legal burden on her because he looks at her as property that needs to stay home and give medicine to his dog at his whim.
Yeah, like you know what we could do, and maybe on a random day we would show you 5 to 10 of the absolutely most insane things he's ever said. I mean, to be clear, I did get one. He said at one point on his show, there are only male geniuses, just to give you an idea of the sort of person he is. He is the sort of guy that, not because of what he does all of this because he's broken inside / he wants money. That's not what ruins a lot of my faith in the potential for men in the modern era. It's that he is appealing to so many young men. His stupid, ultimately even for him, self-destructive concept of masculinity is appealing to them. And it is a monumental task, socially, individually, for each and every one of us to push back against that. I think that it is 100% a worthwhile endeavor that we can and should engage in. But it's why I don't talk about him normally. It's why, by the way, when the story initially came out a few days ago with him and Candace Owens, I didn't talk about it then. Like it makes me so sick to think that people live this sort of life and then also encourage others to be that way, to be broken in that way so that they can become wealthier, infinitely wealthier, because for this guy, even $50 million in a contract wasn't enough to satisfy him.
Yeah, and I say, let them fight.
Let them fight. And I say this is fine with that. Yeah, that's what it feels like. We should have that, by the way, for our environmental segments. Anyway, that's my garbage person. But 50,000 of you voted this week for your community garbage person of the week, and we're gonna give you the rundown. Coming in at number 5 with 1% of the vote, you have Elon Musk for removing blue checks for some people. Now, granted, it's more complicated than that. I don't think him removing the blue checks would even merit him being on the list. It's more the removing it, but not even really. You're still verified, people can't see. So you're needlessly taking away the verification that is a service to the users of the platform by hiding it. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is he then enlisted beloved dead celebrities pretending that they are financially supporting his BS. Absolutely sick. So, but even then, only got him 1% of the vote. So, bear that in mind. Coming in number 4, 4% of the vote, you have Kay Ivey, governor of Alabama, for calling a pro-LGBTQ education guide woke. It really is a get out of ever having to think about, let alone persuade people on your values card. Just call it woke and move on with your life. It's so simple. It's like a weight's been lifted from your shoulders. Anyway, coming in at number 3 with 15% of the vote, you have Tucker Carlson for doing our job by taking his garbage self out himself. So I considered making him mine just to recognize how much garbage he has been over the years, but I'm glad that you guys covered it. Coming in number 2 with 29% of the vote, you have Donald Trump for wanting to put the unhoused in a camp. I know that that's a thing he has talked about previously. I didn't even see it this week. That is how bad of a week it was that passed below my radar. But remember, he might be president again soon, and he wants to do that. But no, number one, you're a garbage person of the week with 51% of the vote. Clarence Thomas for failing to disclose a new conflict of interest. In this particular case, I believe it's a reference to the fact that when he said, sure, I accepted millions of dollars in vacations and gifts and all of that, that may look bad, but don't worry, Harlan Crow never had any business before the court. That was a lie. He very much did. It would still be a complete massive conflict of interest even if he didn't, but he did. And that makes Clarence Thomas your garbage person of the week. Thank you to the 50,000 of you who voted. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.